Hey everybody, welcome to Babbling Zoom, where I just go ahead and start babbling on a Zoom. uh, yes, I'm not going to really get a better camera anyway. But hey, so I said in the last video I wanted to talk about Gonzo, but everything kind of got muddled away, and I kind of ended up doing something else. So let's talk about Gonzo real quick. I forgot to set something up, which is really funny. Actually, let me do that real quick. I'm back. Stupid me. So what I wanted to do is talk about Gonzo. Let's talk about Gonzo real quick. There we go. All right. So I think it's been a few weeks now, maybe like 2 weeks. Maybe it was like a week. I don't know. There apparently came up an episode of Muppet Babies where they played Cinderella, and basically Gonzo was Cinderella, gown and all, and everyone kind of flipped out. It was more like the right basically was like, hey, what is he now gay and doing representation, blah blah blah, shoving representation into Muppet Babies, into a kid's show, and then the left was more like, oh hey, look, more representation, blah blah blah, right? And in this situation I kind of was like kind of taken back by it, because I can't remember the other guy's video. I wish I grabbed that one too. But to be honest, I've always seen Gonzo. I'm an older person, so I've always seen Gonzo as kind of that out there bonkers person who can swing both ways. And what's funny is when you start looking at stuff, there's one thing that's always bugged me about younger generation, and I'm kind of probably trying to fix that with me as well, because I was young as well and I was none the wiser. So when you guys get older, hopefully you'll be we'll fix that problem too. But you never know where something originates from. Basically think of a lot of your musics, and think of a lot of music you listen to, and that realization when you're so upset, like so love a song, only to find out it was actually a cover to something else. So in that, let's talk about Gonzo. Like I said, to you, it's just a weird guy that came from Muppets. And the saddest thing, the messed up thing is, if you weren't there, I'm not saying at the time, but if you were like there at the time of the influence of it all, you'll realize that the thing about Muppets was it was a separation of the Sesame Street. It was something people didn't. Nowadays, you kind of like meld them all together as one, but in actuality, they're not. Sesame Street was the kiddie version. It was designed for kids. Muppets was designed for adults. It's only later, when trying to like build a franchise and get more kids into stuff, they were just recognized characters on both ends, but everyone knew the Muppet Show was an adult show. It was an adult variety show. A lot more adult laughs, a lot more adult things happened on there. Whenever I saw Gonzo, I don't think anyone's ever brought this up, and I wish kind of someone did. I surprisingly always saw Gonzo as influenced from one character. It's not confirmed, but for some reason, I've always seen Gonzo as that dude from MASH. I don't know how it's stuck in my head. This is how I've always seen it. The guy for the actor was what name? Jamie Farr. Um, on MASH, he was known as Klinger. Klinger was a guy who always wanted to get kicked out of the army, and he did the most wildest things ever to try and get out. The biggest thing he was always known for was dressing up. He always thought to himself, if I dress up as a girl, if I cross dress, they'll easily kick me out of the army. And instead of it, they kind of just accepted him as how he did it. They accepted him, dress and all, and no matter how many she tried, they never got rid of him. So it was the ongoing joke of, hey, what is Klinger wearing today? Now, because of that, I saw the off-the-wall antics of Klinger basically thrown onto a Muppet, the Muppet Gonzo. I just saw them as the same. Nowadays, everyone kind of nowadays, younger kids know, or no, younger people, anyone, know Gonzo, but rarely watch MASH. When for me, it was in syndication all the time. Yeah, I shouldn't have been watching it as a kid, probably, but I watched it anyway because it was great comedy. And like sometimes I think the connection of both went even further, where yes, Gonzo might be the off the wall crazy guy like Klinger, but then the fun little added nod to MASH was the form of the teddy bear, right? I don't know how many of you know this, but like Radar, this, we need a pen. Yeah, that works. So gonna draw. So this character Radar in MASH, who always carried a teddy bear, ended up being named Radar, the teddy bear in Sesame Street. And as I read on certain, like a certain site, this didn't stop there. A lot of characters came on the show. A lot of characters came on Sesame Street. A lot of jokes on Muppet Show brought it up as well. There's some skits just dedicated to having fun with MASH and everything. Like basically all the characters pretending to be characters on MASH. So it was one of those things where I watched MASH so much that I just saw sometimes some correlation with characters. So there are times when, like, when you were looking at this stuff, I'm just like, Gonzo dressed up in a dress? Yeah, that's fine. What's wrong about it? Clearing it all the time, right? Now that kind of goes to a bigger narrative. Get rid of the red thing. What were the influences, right? Over that time, a lot of things coming out of the 70s kind of either influenced by what was around them, or maybe sometimes influenced by the past. I don't know. Speculation, obviously. But like, you see some similarities. I mean, yeah, they use these things as a foundation for these characters, right? Great example is the Flintstones and the Honeymooners. They both have big, boisterous main characters who always have flip out. I mean, yeah, borderline abusive, but like all to the point of like going there. But of course, they even show that on TV. They don't do that. But you have these big characters who had great ideas and all these other things, blue collar jobs, and would always love and fight with their wives, and had the silly best friend who'd pop over with his wife and all that stuff. And maybe there were schemes that fell apart, and most of the time, maybe the wives would just fix it in the end. But they both have that same characteristics, right? I mean, the main thing I always saw when looking at Bert and Ernie was the odd couple. It's a common storyline that keeps popping up. You know, you have two guys who want to share an apartment, and they just have complete opposite personalities. The original one was a movie where a story was about, well, yeah. Let me draw this real quick. The original one was a movie where the calm, tidy one, well, in the movie, he got dumped by his wife. So he got kicked out and had to find a place to live, and ended up moving in with the irrational one, the messy, irrational one. Right? There's an old show called Perfect Strangers where you take the same concept and then make them, what was it? You make them cousins, and as opposed to the messy one, you turn him into a foreigner, right? Everyone knows Two and a Half Men. Same concept. The neat one, the messed up one, right? And even you can even see the same thing happening with Big Bang Theory. Even though that's broader, more like Friends thing, it's still kind of the rational one, awkward one. So when I always saw Bert and Ernie, that's all I ever thought, you know? I thought, well, yeah, rational guy sharing an apartment with messy guy. And again, this is how I always thought. And then randomly, I always watch videos because I really care about learning history. So eventually, I think I stumbled on Matt Boom's video about gay Muppets, and found out really this couple really were, what was it, Frank Oz, and or it was a representation of Frank Oz and Jim Henson, their friendship, which later became representation of, well, even though they probably didn't expect it, they didn't actually expect, let's see if I can get it, didn't expect it to turn into a representation of gay pride or a gay relationship. It was something they never knew. There's something they kind of, as Mad Bomb, boom, boom, bomb, whatever, explains in his video, it was something that was never really intended, but secretly everyone, gay couples, kind of saw it as, you know, subtext. So for me, I was confused about this until I learned. But let's be real. You should know their history of these characters, right? Don't just flat out assume. In a way, don't be quick to assert your beliefs on a character, but if it influences or comforts you, that's fine. Right? I'm not saying don't speak up. I'm just saying don't try to force your will on these creators. If it helped you in a bad time, cool. But if you, dig a little bit and did some of your research, maybe sometimes you do find something fun and interesting. And maybe it confirms what you believe in. Or maybe, just like me, it's a hypothetical, but it kind of comforted, right? That's how I see it. But oh well. I still like Gonzo. He's awesome. Still like the Muppet Show. So what I'm going to do is at the end of this, I'm going to put a link to Matt Baum's video. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to put a link to this video up here where it kind of just talks about gay representation and one of the gay puppeteers on the show that kind of helped basically the third name, the unknown third name of the Muppet Show. All right. So see ya. And probably talk about some maybe games next time. I don't know. I don't know what this channel is going to turn into. So who knows? All right. Let me stop my share and say bye.